I think we are good enough. It's almost 6 o'clock. I'm calling the meeting to order. Please rise, and I'll just say the Pledge of Allegiance, okay? And I pledge allegiance to the flag and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Justice for all.
Hey, Joe.
Hey, Joe. First order of business is approving minutes. We have 3 sets of minutes. The first one is October 26th, work session meeting minutes. Has everyone had a chance to review that, and is there a motion?
So move.
That was John. Is there a second?
Second.
Okay, Neil seconds. Mary Ann, your vote?
Aye.
John?
Aye.
Zach?
Aye.
Bill?
Aye.
Bill? Aye. Second set of minutes is the October 26th non-public work session minutes. Is there a motion?
I make a motion, we accept the minutes from the non-public work session.
We're good. Is there a second?
Second.
Okay, Mary Ann moves, John seconds. Neil, your vote?
Aye.
Zach?
Aye.
Ann?
Aye.
John?
Aye.
Bill? Aye. Third is October 26th, regular meeting minutes.
And I'd like to propose an amendment to
Oh.
those.
Yep.
To those minutes. When it was brought before the board voted approval. It's for a pre-disaster mitigation grant. And the total project was $12,000 with $9,000 coming from FEMA. And it was supposed to say with the town matching $3,000, which is a 25% match. And the minutes actually say 2,300. So we need to amend it to say 3,000 as the town's match.
I move that we make that amendment.
All right, and okay, you accept the minutes as amended. No one moved it yet, so yeah. Neil is moving to accept it as amended. Is there a second?
I'll second.
All right, Mary Ann seconds. Any discussion? Hey, I remembered. Seeing none, Mary Ann, your vote?
Aye.
John?
Aye.
Zach?
Aye.
Neil?
Aye.
Bill? Aye. Okey-doke. So the select board will meet on the following dates. We'll have a regular meetings on Monday, November 9th and Monday, November 23rd. Work sessions prior to the regular meeting will start at 5 p.m. All of the above meetings will be held via Zoom, and you can find the dial-in information on the town's website at plymouth-nh.org. Town offices will be closed on Wednesday, November 11th, 2020 in honor of Veterans Day. And at this time, we are planning a small ceremony in front of the town hall to pay tribute and say thank you to our vets. Unfortunately, we cannot condone large numbers of people, so we will also be airing the ceremony on channel 1301 PBTV, the Selectmen's Facebook page, and the town website at www.plymouth-nh.org. If you do attend, please maintain social distancing and wear a mask. Citizens wishing to be listed on the Select Board's agenda should notify the Town Hall before 12 p.m. the Friday before the scheduled meeting. And regarding the reopening of town offices, the Town of Plymouth continues to make every attempt to follow the governor's orders to include the CDC updates and recommendations very closely regarding COVID-19. And at this time, the State of Emergency Order 70 under Section 18 of Executive Order 2020-04 has been extended until November 15th, 2020. Due to the concerns on the COVID-19 virus and by agreement of the town's emergency management director, town offices will remain closed to the public until November 30th, 2020. Please note, as we respond to this unprecedented and rapidly changing situation, the above plans may change at any time in the future. And we expect to have an update by the end of this week. Please continue to check our website or Facebook page for up-to-date planning and information. And also, if you need to contact somebody by phone, the Selectman's office is available at 536-1731 from 8 a.m. to 4:30 p.m. Town Clerk's office is 536-1732 at 8:30 to 4. And the Tax Collector's office is 536-4733 on Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday from 8 a.m. to 2 p.m. And I understand that Marlon Collingwood is not going to be available to provide a PSU update. And I don't see him in the list, and he's not there. So therefore, I'm going to go to the Highway Department. Joe Fagnet, winter sand proposal is awarded to Ambrose Brothers, and he's got a PO for screened winter sand for $21,000. Hey, Joe.
Hi. So what are you doing, Ambrose first?
Yep.
So we shopped around for sand, and Ambrose went up a little bit, but the other places where we get sand wasn't as good, and Ambrose is close, and so when we need it, they're open, so it offset the price increase. So winter sand for that budget, I'm proposing 21,000 out of winter services.
Okay.
For roughly 2,000 cubic yards.
Okey-doke. Is there a motion?
I make the motion, we approve the purchase order for $21,000 for
Okay.
winter season sand.
All right, John moves. Is there a second?
I'll second it.
Neil second. Any discussion?
I have a couple questions. Do they screen the sand?
Yeah, it's screened. Yep.
Do they deliver it?
Yep.
They
Well,
bring it right to your
We're getting
location?
it out of Bridgewater, which is just next door.
Yeah, they bring it right up to your location?
They do, but we either go get it or our hired trucks pick it up.
Oh, okay.
Well,
So that brings an extra cost. But that,
No, because they charge me more to haul it to
uh-huh,
deliver it. The price I'm quoting is for us to pick it up.
okay. But it's not far to truck it.
No,
And you indicate in the attachment, it's 1225 cubic yard delivered. So
right.
Yep. So you're saving a couple bucks.
I mean, they will deliver it if I get in a bind.
Yeah.
Joe, how does this compare to what you expected to spend on sand this year?
It's gone up a little bit, but not a lot. But the places to get sand are getting far and few between. I mean, there used to be an abundance of it, and there isn't anymore. So it's a monopoly with people now. So we used to get it every year, years and years from Campton Sand, but That's a thing of the past. So it's not, we've gone up a little bit, but not much.
Well, we're fortunate that they have a location right nearby.
Yes, we are. It'd be a lot more.
And that location's not gonna be, I mean, that's gonna be decades.
Yeah, I figure they'll be out within the next few years, that one spot.
Yeah,
But
it's a mountain. But, okay, any other discussion? All right, seeing none, John, your vote?
Aye.
Marianne?
Aye.
Zach?
Aye.
Neil?
Aye.
Bill? Aye. There's another document to come in to sign, please.
so then I did a bid opening. I put in the paper for winter services, which was for Boulder Point and snow and sand hauling for the town. And Piper got awarded that bid.
I don't think I have that one.
Mm-mm.
Yeah.
Did you have any other bidders?
Not this year, nope,
Wow.
nope. So,
Everybody's busy.
Is there any action that you need for us to, I guess,
so I can tell you what the contract consists of. So for Boulder Point, it's $85 an hour for an F550 with a sander. And a minimum of 3 hours. And they use our salt and sand. And that's compatible with what they charged me last year. And it does take roughly 3 hours in a storm. So,
That road gets heavy traffic and it's really slippery.
right. Yeah, so it's important that I have somebody that stays with it. And then for my snow and sand hauling services, which is picking up snow and hauling sand when I need them, that's a triaxle, and that's $90 an hour. And that's a 4-hour minimum, which I think they went up an hour on that. But when we pick up snow, it's usually roughly 4 hours, so it's not out of the question. And their prices are pretty close to what they were last year.
So is there a PO that, I mean, you awarded this, right, to Piper, or what?
Correct.
Okay, and is there a purchase order that we have that?
No, it just it comes out of winter services.
The board has to accept the.
They have to accept this and
We'll have a PO at the next meeting, but we need to accept the bids if you can, the bid that came in if you would.
Okay. All right, so therefore, is there a motion to accept the bid on winter services for 2020 to 21 winter season?
I move that we accept the bids.
And specifically, it's for Boulder Point Road and also snow and sand hauling.
Right. It's two separate bids, right?
Yep, correct.
Same company.
Same company, but
Yeah.
two separate bids.
All right, Neil, Neil made the motion. Is there a second?
I'll second.
All right, Zach seconds. Any discussion?
Well, if we don't get any snow and ice, we'll come out of this smelling like a rose.
There you go.
Dreamer.
Well, it's like, what, 70 degrees today, so that might be the case.
Who knows?
So far, so good.
I rode my bike here.
Oh, my goodness.
Okay, so therefore, John, your vote.
Aye.
Mary Ann?
Aye.
Zach?
Aye.
Neil?
All right.
And Bill, aye.
Yeah.
Thank you, Joe.
All right, thank you.
Jesse
Good
here?
night. He
Yes,
is.
He is, yay.
I'm here.
Yep, so Jesse Jennings, quick attach attachments. Okay. LLC, a PO for a snow blower. That's
Yes.
great. You want to provide some background or?
So the reason why I'm asking for the snowblower is it will help mitigate and manage the snow that we get every winter. We're doing a number on our skid steers by pushing the banks back. If we had this attachment, it will throw the snow 30 feet away from the road, and I'm not spending hours upon hours and gallons of fuel to push snow back, and it's going to save the driveway. We've had actually had somebody out there today getting me a bid on the damage that we've caused from years of just plowing and moving snow with our skid steers. And on top of that, it's going to save the buckets, the blade buckets. I won't have to replace those as much, because for driving a skid steer the whole length of that, it just wears down our buckets quite quickly.
So I thought the highway department about that. Guess not.
They do help us with some of the plowing, but like the back parking lot is quite a bit of asphalt surface, and that's where we get a lot of our blade wear.
Okay. All right. And yeah, I know a snow blower would probably be helpful throwing that back on the bank there, I guess.
Right. It's one where it's going to cause less damage to the driveway, less man hours in the skid steer, less fuel, less equipment repair. The quote that I got from Case, they were asking for $11,000 for the same type of snow thrower.
All right. So
Did you have other bids?
It was just Case and Quick Attach.
What's the life cycle on these snow blowers?
They can last for years as long as they're being maintained. I couldn't give you a specific number. It all depends on the operator.
So you thinking, ballpark, you're going to get 5-10 years out of this?
I would say at least 5 years. Granted, parts wear down. There's a 1-year warranty, I believe that's with it. And if I needed parts, I can go directly to Quick Attach and get those parts and fix the machine at minimal cost.
I have another question. Have you ever talked with HP Fairfield in Concord?
I'm not familiar with them.
That's a company that does municipal snow removal equipment. Maybe maybe Joe might know them. Might be good to get a bid from them. Is your unit a case machine?
Is the snowblower case machine?
No, your unit, your skid
My-
steer.
My skid steer is made by Case. We have three. We have two Cases and a Bobcat, and they're all interchangeable except for one of the Cases. This is a high flow oil snow thrower, so that's why it can actually throw it 30 feet. If I got the regular flow, it's only going to throw it 10 to 15.
Yeah, I understand. I just suggest that you, check with Fairfield and see if they have a comparable item.
Fairfields has moved to Manchester,
Oh, they have?
and they also, I don't think he's gonna get what he wants to attach to his machine. They're more specific to
Well,
what they
that's
sell.
what I was looking for, Joe. I just wanted to hear it from you.
Okay.
Joe, is there a reason that that highway doesn't clear the snow at the recycling plant?
Yep, because we're extremely busy and it's not cost effective to run our sidewalk tractor or our big blower up there. We keep those in town where we're working with them. That's quite a haul. Those things that blower weighs a lot, and that's a lot of extra work for that machine to go up to the recycling.
I would think that a blower on a skid steer would be excellent for moving snow around the facility because of the tight quarters.
I think it's a good investment, what he's trying to do for what he's got.
All right. So let's,
Sorry, one more. What does this do to the budget for your department this year?
It wouldn't be coming out of the budget. It'd be coming out of the bond with the leftover money from the skid steer that I purchased.
You got that skid steer for less than what it was originally targeted?
Yes, it was. I believe it was 48,000, which I was granted a $60,000 allowance for it, and so there's a remaining of $12,000 approximately.
Okay, so this 7 comes out of that bond savings effectively.
Yes.
all right. So let's entertain a motion.
I make a motion, we approve the purchase order of quick attachments, $7,088 for the 73-inch snow blower.
All right. John moves. Is there a second?
Second,
Neil seconds. Any discussion? Or did we already complete
we had it.
I got a question regarding the unit price and the amount. So the unit price was $8,095. The amount is actually $6,595. They just debited like 10% or something like that, or what?
It's their pre-winter sale. So it actually, the unit costs more if we bought it like in the summer.
Hey, that's great.
Discounts.
Okay.
Thanks for watching out for us, Jesse.
You're welcome.
All right.
Will
Yeah,
they
thank-
deliver it before April?
It should be. Once this thing gets signed and I send it to them, they're looking at probably January.
All right. Might get down to 60 degrees by then.
And
So-
I'm sorry.
No, go ahead.
The videos that I've watched on it, it will cut through and pretty much any frozen bank that's out there.
Excellent. So therefore, John, your vote.
Aye.
Zach,
Aye.
Neil,
Aye.
Mary Ann,
Aye.
Bill, aye. Nice to have it. Thank you, Jesse.
Thank you. You all have a good night.
You too.
Right.
All right, new and other business. Do we have Don Chutton here?
Yeah, consider.
Okay, Don Chutton, Plymouth Village Water and Sewer, and Rebecca Solnier. Discussion, update on Main Street project and EDA grant application.
Good evening. Thanks for accommodating us. We'll be quick. Our reason for being here tonight is to answer any questions you might have, but primarily is to request that the board authorize Kathy to sign an EDA grant application on behalf of the community, hopefully before Thanksgiving. We're working with Jules and the folks at Wright Pierce to pull together that an EDA grant, which will be just under $3 million for to underwrite the cost of stormwater drainage repair in the downtown area. If the board wants to discuss it in detail, we have a graphic that shows specifically where the drainage will go. Some of you have, probably all of you have seen it at least once or twice. However, we have it available if that's your pleasure.
Okay. Does anybody want to see that graphic, or do you think we've seen it a few times already, or? All right. So what you're requesting is that Kathy sign the EDA grant application?
Yes, that you authorize her when it's completed. We're working to get it completed hopefully this week, early next week, and get it submitted. It's rather pro forma. It doesn't obligate you to accept the grant if it should be awarded. So you'll have to vote on that, take an action on that at some other time, assuming hopefully it's awarded. Right now, it's merely a function of having Kathy authorized to get it together. The reason for the urgency is that we're coming into the holidays, and the process of review at EDA is such that it's got to get before a couple of committees, and we're hoping to get that done before the Christmas break.
Dawn, can you just tell us what the offsetting match is going to be? What's the town's portion of this?
Rebecca, it's
Yep.
what
675,000 is what we have. It's a 20% match. So what we'd be requesting for federal funds is 2.7 million for a total of 3.375 million.
And there currently is money that was put into the bond for the highway department, which will pay a majority of this offset. So we have, right now we have about 605 in the bond money for the highway department. So there is additional funding that we'll be looking to put against that, but we do have a majority of this money, just so the board is aware of that. Okay.
And what's the math actually on that? How much, what's the difference?
70,000.
We have 605,000 right now. So it would be 70,000 that we would be looking for.
Okay, thanks. I didn't remember the numbers.
The improvements, just as high as Kevin Gary, also from Wright Pierce. The improvements also included some lighting improvements, which I believe there was another $70,000 in the existing bond to cover that difference.
So it's basically all covered already.
That's correct.
All right, so you need a motion to allow Kathy to sign the EDA grant application? And,
Yes, that's our request.
okay, I guess I'm requesting a motion.
I make a motion, we authorize Kathy to sign for this EDA grant.
All right, John moves. Is there a second?
Second.
All right, Zach seconds. Any discussion? Seeing none. Mary Ann, your vote.
Aye.
Neil,
Aye.
Zach,
Aye.
John,
Aye.
Bill, aye. Very good. Well, thanks, Don.
Thank you all.
Thank
We
you.
appreciate it. Have a good evening.
Thank
Stay
you.
safe.
Thank you all.
Thank you.
Next item, Tejasana, Civillingham, request for modification for religious exemption or accommodation for face covering ordinance. Tejasana,
Yes, can you hear me?
yes.
Okay. Thank you very much. May it please the board, I appreciate your time. I'm going to be as brief as I can be. First of all, I want to say that I'm not waiving any privacy, privilege, arguments, or rebuttals by my inadvertent, failure to do otherwise here. Also, I don't speak for any other group, and I don't speak for a religion as a whole. I'm also hoping that such an exemption and/or accommodations, if the board decided to give such a thing, that it would be an exemption accommodation, obviously, that would benefit all people of religious convictions and faiths. However, I will, of course, be focusing on my specific concerns as an illustration as to why I believe that there is a constitutional basis for a religious exemption and/or accommodations to the existing ordinance. First, I would like to mention that in Hinduism, we see the body as a temple, and breathing is an important form of worship. It's actually part of the 8 branches of yoga. It's called pranayama, and this regulated breathing and full and unencumbered natural breathing is a very important part of our religion. And so is following dharma as opposed to adharma. And that means following truth versus that which is not true. This ordinance, as it is written without any exemptions or accommodations, impedes my ability and I would argue also those of similar types of faith to my own. It impedes us to worship through having a full, unencumbered, and natural breath. Second, it causes my body and the body of my family to become a billboard for the state's, or the town's, in this case, the town's ideology of germ theory, of non-consensual human experimentation. I will point out as an example of the ideology that is present in the existing ordinance. I will read a couple examples here. Infectious diseases are caused by germs, such as viruses and bacteria. That is an ideology of the towns. It is possible for an infected individual to transmit the COVID-19 virus without exhibiting any symptoms. That is an ideology of the town. The best means of slowing the spread of COVID-19 virus is through minimizing close personal contact with individuals in a public environment, social distancing, covering your mouth and nose by wearing a face covering, and proper hand washing. Those are examples of the town's ideology. There are other ideologies, unfortunately, other ideas that have become very strongly attached with wearing the mask, and those also are repugnant to my religious conscience, my religious morals, and my religious ethics. And so by being caused to wear the mask at any point when I hope to engage in commerce in Plymouth, which is the nearest major town, I'm being told through coercion under threat of fine and court summons that I must become a billboard for the state and further the ideologies that I've mentioned here. I want to just briefly touch again on the non-consensual human experimentation. From what I've seen, there is no established science at this point to demonstrate that these masks are only helpful and not at all harmful, and that by imposing the mask on people, it's causing harm. And that is an ideology that I cannot ascribe to, the imposition of non-consensual human experimentation. Further, I would like to say that the town has exhibited a willingness to offer a mechanism for individual exemptions for health purposes. And I'll go down and just cite that briefly. It's section 8. A face covering is also not required to be worn by any person if said person can show a medical professional has advised that wearing a face covering may pose a risk to said person for health-related reasons. Any such medical documentation provided to the town shall be kept confidential, as is authorized by RSA 91A. So I believe that the town has demonstrated that there is a limit to its what it might consider its compelling interest for public health. It has demonstrated the limit in terms of offering a mechanism for individual exemptions by way of health. It's also offered accommodations by the way of offering myself the opportunity to have mailed to me RSA 91A materials that I requested, and also to pick them up from outside. So I believe that the town has demonstrated an interest and an ability to offer a mechanism for individual exemptions. However, it appears that no general religious exemption has been considered for the ordinance. Now, I say that with on information and belief, because I have filed 2 91A requests. One it was on or about August of this year, and the other one was on or about the end of September of this year. Based on the information that I received, I do not see a clear demonstration that the board has considered religious exemptions. And I filed a petition for redress of grievances, in part specifically asking for religious exemptions to be made. And again, I filed a 91A request, and it appeared, based on the information that I received, that there was no meeting that was held, no consideration for religious exemptions. It appears that there was no research. And my 91A requests, I believe, are part of the public record in case any member of the public would like to see it. I'm assuming that they could probably ask for it. I believe that this lack of consideration for religious exemptions over the course of several months has demonstrated to me a potential hostility towards religion and the consideration of religious exemptions. And I would also say that in part because unfortunately, I believe it was on or about July of this year when the ordinance was being considered at one of the meetings. From my recollection, Selectman Bolton, with all due respect, he mentioned that he felt that the courts would go easy on the Board of Selectmen, which made me feel that there was a very cavalier attitude to considering the full breadth of considerations relative to what should be given for exemptions or accommodations. My hope is here, and what I'm requesting the board to do, is to please consider an exemption or accommodation, perhaps one similar to what you have available for health reasons, because essentially there's a coercive mechanism here of potential of fines and summons that interferes with my freedom of expression, in contrast to the ideology of the town, which is informed by my religious objection to the ideologies that are being proposed, and also impedes upon my worship through my attention to my breath, through my full, unencumbered and natural breathing. I would also mention to you that not being able to conform to this it makes it very difficult to receive goods and services from the town. I greatly appreciate your time, and thank you for your consideration.
Thank you, Tejasna. Does Actually, rather than have the board make a comment, I think we probably just like, we'll receive your concern and maybe bring it to our attorney's attention. I think, you know, I'm not trying to single your religion out, but your religion may be unique in that I don't think most religions would prevent, you know, the wearing of masks. And that might require some discovery because, you know, I'm not certain, you know, who does. And could I ask what your religion is, or is it your own business? Or maybe I should research, you know, what your religion prohibitions are that would prohibit the use of mask wearing for public health purposes.
So it's interesting. I'm mildly surprised that you asked the question, Selectman Bolton, because I know that you've seen me wearing a bindi multiple times, but nonetheless, I'm a Shaivite Hindu, and there's a whole spectrum of beliefs and ideas and theology that informs my objections to this. I have cited a few. You know, one of them I will cite again, the idea of not causing harm. While you are assuming that there's harm being caused by me not wearing a mask, I contest that that's not true, that there's actually harm by wearing the mask. And I cited one example of said potential harm, which is what I believe is non-consensual human experimentation.
Non-consensual human experimentation.
Can I make a remark?
Yes, please.
It has never been my intent on this board to discriminate against any religion. I believe that what we have done here is to take the best available knowledge that we have in protecting our public health and safety in this community.
Thank you, Neil. I'd almost be tempted to bring Scott Weed into this, but I don't think there's a need to get into the public health need for mask wearing and you know, that not wearing masks presents a danger to other people nearby. So
He's not your town health officer at this time. He's your emergency management director. If
Yeah.
Tom was on, potentially you'd have more information there.
So, you know, I don't think we, at this point, can take an action on that. I think our next step might be to bring it to our attorney's attention and see if we can, you know, obtain his, you know, opinion about how we should proceed. Does that sound reasonable? Okay, Jacinta?
Somebody's waving. It's like
Yeah, I see David Nash has a comment or would like to make a comment.
I would like to make a comment after you've completed your discussion.
I just put a question to Justin as far as like whether or not that satisfies.
Selectman Bolton, I believe that the board, you know, can confer with its attorney at his pleasure. So I appreciate you asking me, but I don't think that I have any place in advising the board on what to do or not to do in that matter.
Okay. All right, David.
All right, thank you. I emailed a letter to Kathy and to the select board members. And I'm in sympathy with the request, and I just would like to read Phyllis and I would like to read the email publicly. Dear Kathy and Plymouth Select Board members, the constitutionality of the quote-unquote mask ordinance must be questioned. The Plymouth Mask Ordinance is religiously, ethically, morally, and politically important to our Constitution. The town's quote-unquote beliefs are theirs. Do not violate our beliefs. We have deep convictions about the spiritual implications of covering our mouths, seeing this as a demonic ritual to shut our mouths. We will not stand for it any longer. We are not asking for your understanding of our beliefs. We are asking you not to violate the First Amendment of the Constitution. The mask ordinance coerces us and others of religious conviction and conscience to disseminate the town's ideology about what it means to be alive, healthy, and human by mandating the wearing of a face mask. Not that this is relevant to the violation of the Constitution, but the ordinance's intent to slow the transmission of COVID-19 by mask wearing is still questionable. There are numerous professional conflicting opinions. Masks are dirty and detrimental to our health. One of us has a claustrophobia issue, exacerbated by putting on a mask over our mouth. Most people are pulling them down around the town. Most people are pulling them down so they can talk or wearing them around their chin. And there are currently only 14 cases of COVID-19 in the estimated 90,000 residents of Grafton County. And I pulled those numbers from the New Hampshire Health and Human Services website and the most recent census data that I could find. 14 cases, 90,000 people.
Okay.
Let me finish. The mandate is also coercive by withholding access to the Plymouth economic community, including but not limited to medical and emergency services, under threat of fine and court summons. Clearly, the town is willing to make exemptions to the mask ordinance because it allows for an exemption based on health. And therefore, in bold and caps, the town has already shown exemptions are allowed, and no less for our life convictions and conscience. Therefore, we respectfully request that the Plymouth Select Board amend its mask ordinance to allow for religious exemptions for face coverings. Respectfully, David Nash and Phyllis Nash. Thank you.
All right, thanks, David. Scott Whedon, our Emergency Management Director, do you want to make a comment on the number of COVID cases currently in Grafton County? And
Sure, I'd be happy to, Bill. Mr. Nash, I get reports every morning with regards to the updates with regards to Grafton County and the town of Plymouth. And there's been a total of 316 cases in Grafton County that's cumulative for the period of March 1st through November 9th. Out of those cases, 9 have been hospitalized and we've had 1 death. Currently in Grafton County, as of this morning, we have 95 active cases. 73 of those are still under investigation at this point. And in the town of Plymouth, the report we received from DHHS this morning, Department of Health and Human Services, we have 35 active cases in the town of Plymouth, which represents 36.8% of the cases in Grafton County today. In Plymouth, we've had a total of 80 cases, and that is cumulative from March 1st to November 9th. And those statistics were reported to me through DHHS this morning through the interactive maps of Grafton County and every other county in the state of New Hampshire.
thank you.
Okay. Well, the information I read off the HHS website last night said there were only 14 cases in Grafton County. So that's where I pulled my information.
I mean, we're doing our best to monitor that each and every morning. Whereas we have had a couple outbreaks and we do get reporting at 8 a.m. every morning from Department of Health and Human Services, and then throughout the day if other cases have been identified. And today we did have 1 additional case identified, which brought us to 36 active cases as of 3 o'clock this afternoon.
Yep.
Thank you, Scott. So, I'm sympathetic with the concerns, David, and to Justin. think that, I'm wearing a mask now. And I think, just for the protection of people around me and also to assure public safety, a mask is helpful. I'm not certain where you got the information that masks might contribute to illness, but they certainly save illnesses. So, I'm thinking we're pretty, and also the governor also allowed us to go to, create a mask ordinance. And, so I think the sympathy there is statewide. And, I think more and more communities will probably issue mask ordinances. And the only exemptions that we do allow are for, medical need. So it would require some really fine tuning to specify, religious concerns when most religions wouldn't be concerned about wearing masks. So that might be kind of, a tricky thing to, create a very specific exemption, which might indicate discrimination. So John has a comment. You're on
You're
mute.
muted, John.
You're still on mute.
You can't
John.
hear us.
John, unmute yourself.
Everybody,
Oh, he just muted himself again.
Unmute.
There you go.
Okay.
Yep.
hear me now?
Yep.
I would just like to say, I wear the mask and I'm a Christian, but again, with some religions, they do have differences, and I think, I would like to see the select board, check with our attorney and just see what they say, because I think I understand where the ordinance is coming from and everything, but we as Christians, and different denominations have different beliefs, and whether it's one person or 10,000 people, I think we need to respect that. And this is what our country was founded on, religious freedom. And I'm not saying, we're not conscious of that, but just to see where, what our attorney thinks, and is there anything else in the country where they have changed this,
I would agree with John that, would defer to our attorney, the town's attorney. And I am definitely not an attorney, but have done some research. And because it's not limited, or specific religions are not called out, it's not considered discrimination against religion in general, as well as a public health concern that takes precedence. But once again, just my research, and definitely would defer to the town's attorney.
An additional just quick comment. I know there was some discussion of whether or not we have the right or these are effective. The governor did put an executive order out for any gatherings greater than 100 people that a mask is required. It was emergency order number 63 earlier this summer. So our ordinance does tighten that and does apply more restriction, but we have also a state ordinance for larger groups. So while we do have that ordinance in our town, I believe we're standing on the shoulders of kind of a larger movement.
Well, Zach, to that, there's a lot of towns that don't have mandatory masks, and
Well, all towns in New Hampshire with gatherings over 100 people have a
Over,
state
over 100 people. So what I'm saying is, you know, I just like I said when we adopted this, if a business says masks are required, then I respect them or I go someplace else. But the fact that the entire state is not mandatory mask, you know, opens it up to, again, you know, if we just talk to the town attorney and see where we go from there, I think it would be, in my estimation, it would be advisable. And I think, you know, again, there are merchants that don't require masks, you know, in a lot of stores. And, you know, we do. I mean, most of the merchants in our town do, but, you know, it's not mandatory statewide. And this is something we implemented. And I think, as Mary Ann said, we just need to pass it on to the town attorney and see where we're at.
Okay, I think we're all in agreement with, you know, the fact that we need the attorney involved in this. So
I want to add that I feel that this board should seek legal advice from our counsel.
All right. We are all in agreement then.
Yes, agreed.
Okie doke. Well, thank you, David and Tejasna, for your input. And we'll circle back once we get a response from our attorney.
Thank you very much for your time and the opportunity to speak.
Thank you.
And thank you, David.
Have a good evening. We'll see you.
Thank you.
All right. Committee reports. Are there any committee reports?
None.
Jenny, I didn't read the emails, but I see Mark Halloran is interested in having a cemetery trustee meeting.
Yes, I
So that-
emailed him my availability.
Okay, that'll be good. Get that going. And at some point, I'd like to be able to tour the cemeteries that the 13 municipal cemeteries, just to take a look at them and get a status of them. So
Yeah, I
maybe-
would definitely like that.
Okay, that'd be kind of fun, actually. I don't know if that sounds morbid or not, but
13 colonies.
I think you'd be surprised where some of them are, Bill.
I've seen them already, John. I know exactly. I wouldn't be surprised, but
Yeah.
in fact, one's out your way.
Yes, exactly.
All right. So, any public comments?
Before we leave committee reports, Marianne, did you attend the Economic Development Council meeting the day after the election?
I did not. I did
Yeah,
not.
I wasn't able to make it either, so I was. We'll have to get a catch up from.
Yeah, Jim Jules, definitely. I just wanted to state as well, the planning board is starting have gone through the whole zoning process, especially along Tenny Mountain Highway. And we're kind of writing that up at this point. You know, now we need to go a couple hearings with the public before we can bring it to the town, but hopefully those meetings will be well attended and can answer a bunch of questions. So
That'll
They're
be
on
great.
Zoom, aren't they?
yes, they are.
And that'll be a warrant article, correct?
Correct.
Okay. All right. Any other public comments or?
Well, the election went smoothly. That's all I want to say.
I was just thinking about that. Yeah, it was a great a great show, actually. I went in there to take a look at it and looked like it was very like an easy flow and no complaints.
Yeah, I think a big public thank you to the supervisors of the checklist in particular. They do so much work leading into that event, and the moderator. You know, they get very little money for the amount of time and effort they put in to make that come off without a hitch. Our town makes it look easy. They make it look smooth, and I think that's really a a sign of the good work that's been done by those individuals for so long.
And
Our
Zach,
town, our
thank
town
you
clerk
for,
is a great leader, and we had a terrific team.
I was there, saw Zach as an outside guy, so you were standing out in the cold for, I don't know how long, but
The
thank
whole day. I just want, Zach took one for the team. The entire day he was out there.
Thank
You know,
Zach. Thank you very much, Zach.
I dressed for it, but the rest of you did important work inside. So, it was a team
All
effort.
right.
Thank you. And Jenny, you had your hand up.
I was just wondering if there was like an actual requirement in terms of posting the results of the election, because it was kind of hard for me to actually find those. Somebody ended up sharing the town clerk page, and that's how I find it. But even then, I couldn't find it on the town clerk page or on the town website. And then eventually it's on the town website now, but now it's eventually on the town clerk page. But I didn't know if there was an actual timeline for when it would be expected.
Secretary of State has all the postings from the whole state.
Okay. So putting it on our website is not necessarily required by a timeline because the Secretary of State has
required.
them.
I think it's just general practice from all the city and town clerks.
Okay.
To put it up on their sites, but they report, to AP and all the interested parties and the Secretary of State, and the Secretary of State's posting is pretty much, the gold standard.
Yeah, the requirement is both the Secretary of State's vote return forms and the one for all accessible voting system tablet. So those are the two requirements for reporting. But I think your point is good that we could share those on our website and probably make it easier for the town. I know I went and looked in the Laconia Daily Sun to check the results for some surrounding towns on some of the community elections, because going town to town is a little bit difficult.
Thanks, Jen. Any other public comments? Seeing none, is there a motion?
I make a motion, we adjourn.
All right. Okay. John, your vote.
Aye.
Marianne.
Aye.
Neil.
Yeah.
Zach.
Aye.
Bill, aye. We're adjourned. Thank you.